The game hasn't even started. Two people are already arguing over a player trade. Someone spilled chips on the couch. The TV is loud enough to feel in your chest. And there's one person near the window, watching the room instead of the screen. Not upset, not bored, just not there. Every year, over 100 million people treat the Super Bowl like it's the most important day of the calendar. And every year, a completely different group of people sits in the same room and feels absolutely nothing. Some people spend the entire Super Bowl watching people watch the Super Bowl, not because they're cold, not because they're difficult, but because somewhere along the way, they never got invited into something everyone else seems to share without even thinking about it. And the real reasons behind that go a lot deeper than just liking sports or not, because this isn't really about football. Stay with me, because by the end of this, the way you see that person near the window will be completely different. Here's the first thing most people get wrong about Super Bowl fans. A lot of them aren't really reacting to the game. Think about someone who grew up watching football with their family. Same couch every year, same snacks, same voices yelling at the same TV, their dad standing up on the third quarter, same gesture, every single season. The brain does something interesting when an experience repeats like that. It starts connecting that experience to everything surrounding it. The smell of the food, the sound of the crowd, the feeling of being safe in that room. Over enough years, those things get wired together. The game stops being just a game. It becomes a trigger. 20 years later, that person watches a touchdown and feels something that the score doesn't explain. It's not football anymore. It's their dad at 40 years old. It's being 12 again for a few hours. That's why total strangers can hug each other after a touchdown like they've known each other for years. Emotionally, the game already feels personal before it even starts. But if you never grew up in that environment, none of that got built. Not a flaw, not a choice, just a different history. The people who feel the most during the Super Bowl are often not reacting to what's happening on the field. They're reacting to everything the field reminds them of. The game is almost just an excuse. Is there something in your life that works the same way? Something that makes you feel more than it logically should because of what it's attached to? But that's only part of it, because even people who do have that history, some of them still check out at Super Bowl parties, and the reason for that is something completely different. Some brains are naturally wired to enjoy intense environments, loud rooms, unpredictable moments, emotional tension, crowds. For those people, a Super Bowl party is a charge. For others, that exact same environment is a drain. Same room, same game. Two completely different internal experiences. You'll know these people at the party. They're the one who offers to refill drinks and stays in the kitchen 5 minutes too long. They're the one who finds the dog in the hallway and suddenly gets very interested in the dog. Not antisocial, not miserable. Their nervous system is just trying to find 30 seconds of quiet. The noise doesn't stop in there. Every few minutes, somebody explodes again. Another play, another reaction, another moment that feels massive to everyone except them. And even the commercials become loud, even the halftime show. The room never really settles. What feels exciting to one person feels exhausting to another. And most people around them never even notice it happening. Have you ever been the person in that kitchen? Or the one who stayed with the dog a little too long? Because if you have, you probably know exactly what this feels like. That specific mix of wanting to enjoy the evening and slowly running out of capacity to pretend you are. The problem isn't the game. The problem is that excitement feels mandatory. Everyone around you seems connected to something you're just not feeling. And if you're not matching that energy, you start to feel like there's something wrong with you. So you fake it. You cheer at the right moment. You shake your head when everyone else does. You become a slightly delayed copy of the reactions around you. And after a few hours, the experience stops feeling like a party. It starts feeling like social acting. But here's the part nobody really talks about. The part that explains why this whole thing creates actual tension between people. You've probably seen this happen. Someone says, quietly, calmly, "I don't really watch football." And the room turns, not angry, just confused, like they heard something that didn't compute. That reaction tells you everything, because for a lot of fans, the team isn't just a team, it's their city, their family history, their Sunday ritual for 30 years. Notice how fans say we won. Not they won, they were never on the field, but the team became part of how they see themselves. The win feels personal, the loss feels personal. A bad referee call can genuinely ruin someone's day, not because they're dramatic, but because on some level, it happened to them. And when you understand that, the reaction makes complete sense. They're not being irrational. They're defending something that was built over years, not weeks. So when someone responds with complete indifference, it doesn't land as, "I don't like this sport." It lands as, "Your world doesn't matter to me." That's not what's being said, but that's what gets heard. It's the same reason people look genuinely puzzled, not offended, puzzled, like they just heard someone say they feel nothing during Christmas or that they don't care about their hometown. It touches something that goes beyond the game itself, and the person who said it is usually completely unaware that any of that just happened. They said 4 words. They had no idea those 4 words landed like a small rejection. And if you think about it, this same dynamic plays out everywhere, not just with football. There are people who feel nothing at concerts while everyone else is losing their mind. People who don't understand why others cry at movies. People who sit quietly at New Year's parties, watching the countdown, feeling fine. Same event, same room, completely different internal experience. The question isn't who's reacting correctly. The question is why we still expect everyone to feel the same things at the same time. Neither side is broken here. Some people built an emotional connection to this game over decades, through memory, through identity, through belonging. Others never had the environment that would have built it. Same room, same screen, completely different internal experience. And the strange part isn't the indifference. The strange part is how surprised we still are by it. Every single year. Maybe people weren't watching football at all. Maybe they were just trying to find their way back to something they once felt. The game was never really the game. It was always about belonging. So honestly, when the Super Bowl comes around, are you genuinely in it? Or have you always felt like the only person in the room, watching everyone else feel something you never learned how to feel? Drop one word in the comments.